Alright everyone, welcome along, week 5. So today we're looking at one of the premium features, okay? We're only going to use 2 premium features really in this set, or in this video set. All of them you don't have to use, so if you're not premium per user or premium capacity, different use them, right? Use something different. Pro will support all this. You'll need a manual step for what we're going to go through today. But for next week's video, what you'll effectively do is you just won't need to do it, but it's good for you to know what next week's video is going to cover. It all helps part of your learning and development side. So what are we looking at today? We're looking at the development pipeline. Now this is really how you take your data or your modeling and your report content in Power BI and you move it through from a development into a QA or test environment and then through into production finally, and actually starting to wrap a layer of governance around it so that you've got some controls, because after all, the whole point of this data set and making sure that the water is safe to drink is for governance and safety, isn't it? So let's do the same with our businesses and make sure that we've got some levels of control as to how things progress into production. Champion. Alright, so here we are. This is what dev environment, okay, for our development pipeline that's been built. And you can see it's our development environment because if we zoom in here, you can see it says development. Hi. Mayflies on me, man, I tell you. Okay, so we've got our development environment here. And what this is going to do is if we look at our development pipeline and we can see we've got this view development pipeline here, we can see the different layers that we've got in it, and we can come through and we can see at each point, is this okay? So have these been validated? And they have. And I can come through and I can see, oh, hang on, potentially me test and my production environment are different. And I know they're different because I set it up that way. So if I click compare, it'll actually show me the differences and what's going on. So this will allow me to understand before I promote something up to production, what changes are going to go through. Okay? So using this is a really useful way of making sure that you've got controls in place to balance and manage your environment. And in fact, what we can do, sorry, let me do it here where you can see, we can click to see the development history and I can see over time what's gone on, and as well I can see any notes about what's happening. So here we promoted to introduce a parameter and the parameter was P environment, which is something that we'll discuss as we go through because it's a replica of what you could do with some of the different things. So in this case I've used P environment to point at just a text value, but you could use that because of the way parameters work in your Power Query to be a reference to a different SQL server or different database server or something like that if that's the route that your business wants to go down. Effectively, what you will do is you will make all your changes, all your development work, you will do in here. So if we go into this report that we've got, right, and just for the sake of argument, I'm going to do this. Right? We've made a change to a visual or we've had to update a report. So do something in here. We're going to add a page to it and we'll just put in inspections by date. Okay, nothing special, nothing fancy, inspections by date. Right? We know that's going to work. That gives us a new report page. Come back to the page 1, back to reading view, and we'll save it. So if we come out of this now and we go back to our report here, or to our page, our workspace, that's the right word, and we now come in, zoom in, and let's go to our development pipeline, we can see, it's saying there's a difference now. Right? So it's picked up that within that report, it's now different. So I can say, well, I'm happy with this. Let's deploy it to test. Okay, so it's saying what's different is this. Add a quick note. Published for video. Deploy. There we go. So it's going to copy all that content over to the workspace. And test is now going to be the same as production. We could go through, we could do our testing, and we could choose to publish that up, and it's saying this time all three areas have changed, because don't forget, we've queued up different fixes into test before they go up to production. So you could turn around and say, for my business, developer A is going to do some work. He's got these fixes to do. She's got these fixes to do. Developer B's got these fixes to do. He, she are going to do them. And then at the end of the month, we'll roll those together and we'll promote it up. So you can have your different job orders that you're going through. You could be using your notes for that, couldn't you? So here we're going to go. So we'll say this is the January 2023 release. Fixes included. Here, enter them in there as you've got. You could do that. You could then say enhancements, whatever they are. Yeah, because don't forget, we do these things for three reasons. Okay, three reasons only for doing promotions, updates, things like that. Okay, compliance, sustainability, and improvement. Okay, so fixes tend to be compliance, improvements tend to be enhancements. Okay, and fixes will also tend to be but you can go through, you can level these things out, work out what they are. This is the bit you need to work through. What's your internal process going to be? Once I'm done, I'm going to hit deploy, and then we'll wait and we'll see. It's going to promote everything through, and then in the end, we'll get a job done. So we can see from our development pipeline really where we are with our development, where we are with our deployment, and how we can manage it going forward. Okay. Now for this, if you remember, when we first did the New York Water Tower data set, we had quite a simple set of reports. Okay, so we only had really the two in here and the Power BI data set, the PBICs. Okay. So what we're going to do with this is effectively we're going to start clearing them down. We're going to replicate and push this all through. So we're going to use a data mart this time, because I thought, you know what, let's preview, let's see a data mart in use. Okay, because I think for a lot of businesses, they are going to start looking at data marts as they come through into GA. Hopefully they're going to be in GA by summer. Fingers crossed. But it's worth having a look and seeing a deep dive really into how they can work. What do they bring to the table, so that you know in your mind, is this going to be right for me business or is it not? So one thing I wanted to show you as well while we were here and while we were looking at it is really these rules, because we've mentioned parameters, didn't we? So we've got a parameter in here. And in the case of this, what I've used is just to call it what environment it is. So in test, for example, if we have a look, we can see we've got a data set here. Zoom in this way. Here we go. We've got the data set. If I click on it, we've got a parameter and we've got the value, test. Now, knowing how these work, and there's plenty of other videos showing you really how you can use a parameter to put in a different server name or different server credentials or something different to drive, this is our development, this is our test, this is the production that you need to be looking at. We'll carry on and do more about this as well, so don't worry. Okay, so how do I manage that? How do I put that in? So for my production area, what I need to do is zoom in, and we can see we've got the little lightning bolt, because actions, lightning bolts. Wow. So we're going to click on that, bring it in, and it says the data set, what are the parameter rules that we've got for it? We're going to add a rule, P environment. We want this to become production. Okay. And then we click save. So now what will happen is it'll say production is going to be production. And you'll see the deployment that we've done previously, it's now said, oh, hang on, there's a difference. Something's not right. So what we can do is we can go through, we can redeploy this to production. And you see it's just the data set. So we go rules updated. Okay. So in practice, you'll make sure you've done all this beforehand. You'll stage this and set this up once when you first set up your deployment pipeline, and you'll find you can reuse it time and again. So how can we validate that it's actually done that? The easiest way is if we just come into here, we can see sorry, not, go to create a report. Let's start from scratch with it. So I'm going to bring current environment in. Okay, and make sure that's set as a table. And we see it says production. So in practice, you can do lots to manage this and to move your parameters forward. You can do all sorts of other logic around it with your parameters, and you could build up a whole set and suite of parameters that are going to drive your different environments. So what do you reckon then? Okay, there's a lot in there with these data pipelines as to what, or these deployment pipelines, sorry, as to how they're going to work with you. There are some challenges that you will find with them, and there are some things that you need to be aware of around there. So we'll talk about some of them and some of the issues, challenges, fun bits that you'll face when we get into the extra video. But what we're going to look at, or what I want you to think about really is this going to add value to me in the way that I work? Having the ability to promote content effectively with a click is simple, and it makes life much easier. You need to be aware, though, as to where the differences are and what the challenges that you're going to face are. So it's a difficult one to be fully happy with, and it's a difficult one not to be happy with, but it's something that will add a lot of power and benefit to your business. For those of you that want to automate your things, you can automate. So you do have API access. So Power BI's REST APIs will allow you to trigger deployments automatically within your environment. So you could, again, have that locked up in something like Jira. So you've got everything going through in Jira, and then you're saying, right, at this point, I'm completing this and moving it into test. That's when the deployment would happen, and use it that way. You will need to be a bit more clever about it, because obviously you're dropping files into a workspace. That needs to be done. Not to say it's not possible. It's just something I think there's legwork to manage it as well. It's not just a simple, just manual steps. Thinking through it, I think it gives a really good way of working, but there are challenges. So join us for extra and we'll talk about some of them challenges. Have a great week. Stay safe. Take care. Ta-da. Bye.